Hello, my name is Rizwaan Abdul, and this is my YouTube self-introduction video. A little bit of background information. I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I've grown up and lived in Saudi Daisy for basically all my life. I went to Allen Elementary and Loftus Middle School, and for high school, I went to STEM School Chattanooga. That's where I learned about the different opportunities in computer science, programming, and had hands-on experience with it. So my expectations for this course are kind of building upon the problems I had when I was learning software development. First is the ability to become efficient software developers, and the second is knowledge on best practice organization and project planning. And third is understanding different tools and choosing the right tools depending on the job. So for example, when I make programs, I need to have a way to keep track of tasks. A simple to-do list is fine, of course. However, once it gets a little bit more complicated when each program has multiple subtasks and those subtasks have different subtasks, and when you start working in a group, when you want to assign subtasks to other people. So that's where it gets easier when you learn about different tools such as GitHub and Git and issues, branches, and things of that nature. So because of this, in 10th grade, I decided to teach the rest of my class about GitHub. And for a whole quarter, everyone was working in groups of 4 and used GitHub to create a simple website that acted as a quizzing system. Now, another thing is there is other stuff within project planning, such as, do you develop it and then test it? Or how often should you test? Or how much should you test? And things like that. And so I hope this class will help me answer some of those questions and become a better software developer. And another thing is that I want to be able to understand the different tools available, whether it be Pygame as a library or RStudio for writing our program, Visual Studio Code, GitHub, or alternatives and things like that to make sure I know what's available for me so I don't spend time reinventing the wheel. My post-graduation plans are a little bit varied because I am not so sure what I want to do at this moment. I may do a master's in business administration and become a project manager or an executive or go into management at a bigger company, or I may decide to start my own company, or I'll do master's in data science and eventually a PhD and just go into research. I may decide to go a medical doctor route and do a PhD where I can do biological research using computer science and data science. Or I may decide to go into intelligence, such as with the government, where a lot of data science professionals are in need. Finally, I may just do software development, such as apps, websites, and things of that nature. Python. Python is, I must say, one of the very first languages I learned or knew about. Although I wasn't necessarily a very big fan of Python, I understood its benefits, such as its ability to interface with compiled programs. I was always wondering why machine learning was done with Python if Python itself isn't fast as some language like C. And that's when I figured out that libraries are usually compiled to C and are interfaced through Python, which gives them the user-friendliness of using them in code, but also the efficiency and speed that they require for their use case. Another thing with Python is its prevalence in multiple industries and use cases. You can build a website with Python. You can control GPIO pins on a Raspberry Pi with Python. You can basically do a lot of things with Python. Python is everywhere. And that's something that you can see with JavaScript as well today. But a very important thing is that Python is really good at manipulating data and different types of data. when I in one of the boot camps I did with Professor Chin, we we tried to analyze data, and while I was receiving an input stream in JSON, R wasn't necessarily able to manipulate it or parse it as well as it can do with like CSVs or tabular data. And that's when I was suggested to use Python. And when I switched to Python, I was able to easily compare data and analyze data from multiple different sources in multiple different formats. Like I was able to make a table or a graph from data from JSONs and CSVs from different parts of the internet. Now, another thing is that Python has wide support and compatibility. This not only applies to the development experience, such as, having all these libraries or all these being able to run on all these platforms, but also has to do with how prevalent Python is in different industries, such as for machine learning, there's the Python Jupyter Notebook or Anaconda, and things like that. And on top of that, there's stuff like Google Colab, which helps you use Python without having a computer. I mean, if you think about it, you can do machine learning on a Chromebook or on your phone or anything using Google Colab. And this is something that I'm very looking forward to do using Python. And this is all I have for today. Just trying to give you some information about myself and what I'm excited most about this class. I hope this class adds value to my knowledge and to this subject, as this is very important for me, especially if I plan on developing software. Thank you.